Good morning. This is Chandu Nair here, going to talk to you about D2C brands in India. The first question that I'm asked is, what is the situation for D2C brands in India? Why are they taking off? I'm very happy to tell you that over the last few years, quite a few things have happened in India, which makes it a wonderful opportunity for new emerging D2C brands. For just as an introduction, D2C brands are those that are predominantly digital first or have essentially digital ways of communicating, interacting, and keeping in touch with their various customers and partners. So, what has happened in the last few years is, thanks to mobile technology, thanks to digital technology, thanks to changes in logistics, etc., companies today can afford to be completely digital first or even 100% digital. Therefore, in the last few years, you'll find there's been an explosion of D2C brands. Estimates have it by the middle of 2021 last year, we had over 800 D2C brands. And this number is expected to keep growing. The funding situation too has vastly improved. What companies raised just in the last few months of 2021 is in excess of what they raised in the previous 5 years. All in all, the situation and the prospects for D2C brands are excellent in India currently. How has D2C evolved and what has been the impact of e-commerce? Oh, there has been a tremendous impact. For example, let me give you some numbers from the Inc. 42 report. Decoding India's 100 billion D2C opportunity, the market landscape and trends report of 2021. As I mentioned before, there are 800 to 1,000 D2C brands already operating in India, most of whom came in the space of the last 3 to 5 years, number one. Number two, right now, the online opportunity is roughly about 39 billion. This is expected to explode to about 200 billion by 2026 in a matter of just about 5 years. Number three, the current D2C opportunity, which is at about 33 billion in 2020, is expected to jump to about 100 billion by 2025. And lastly, the number of online shoppers in India, which was 100 million in 2020, is expected to explode by a number of 2.5 times over the next 5 years. All in all, you can see that this marriage of e-commerce through D2C is a fantastic marriage and is really going to show up a lot of opportunities for consumers, for entrepreneurs and investors alike. Why are companies opting for the D2C model? First and foremost, this gives them total control over their set of customers and influencers. They can interact directly with their customers without any other intermediaries. They can interact also with influencers such as opinion makers or other kinds of experts who help their customer make more informed choices. So therefore, this helps them cut out the intermediary. In terms of distribution too, there is no need for any other dealer or distributor to come in the middle and increase their working capital issues. Thirdly, improved technology means that they can have improved websites, better applications, mobile applications, what have you. And also, improved logistics has meant that people can use third-party delivery platforms and third-party delivery providers to enable easy reach for their customers. Customers also want personalized and customized offerings, and D2C brands are able, because of their niche offerings, they're able to pander to these very individualized needs. And finally, what has happened is that there is increased consumer awareness in many areas for more, for example, healthy offerings in the area of fashion or in the area of food or even in the area of cookware. So therefore, because of all this, a lot of companies find, for reasons of cost, improved technology, direct customer control, easy access through third-party logistics, etc., they find it easier to opt for a D2C model than to go the conventional way. Are investors more inclined towards D2C brands? Well, if you look at the interest between 2014 to 21, roughly about $2 billion were raised by D2C brands. But what is the strange thing is, after the advent of the pandemic, the number of D2C brands that have raised funding is not funny. Roughly about 146 brands have cumulatively raised more than $500 million. That's almost 2 companies per week. So, which tells you that investors definitely seem to like this thesis of D2C brands. Why do they like this? As we mentioned before, this disintermediation of directly being able to be in control of your customer gives you access to vast amounts of data, direct reach with the customers, and potentially higher gross margins and profitability. Secondly, with this advent in new technology and having to outsource and the ability to outsource key aspects like logistics, etc., helps companies scale up much faster. Thirdly, even though there are incumbent brands, large companies, because of the nimbleness of many of these startups, they are able to operate in niches and grow tremendously in a very short span of time. For example, companies like Boat, Mama Earth, etc., have reached 100 crores in little to no time. Boat took just about 2 years. Now you'll find there are already more than 45 plus companies who have a $15 million annual run rate. And there are also more than 30 plus companies with a more than $50 million run rate. Given the ability to rapidly scale, the ability to operate in a niche, to build a brand, and to have direct consumer access, all these make D2C brands and this D2C opportunity very attractive for investors. You will continue to see a lot of investor interest in the forthcoming few years as well. How do I think this D2C space may evolve in the near future? Well, first and foremost, there are existing incumbent large companies, both national and domestic as well as international, who are keenly watching this space and also seeing what is it that they should do. Some of these companies have already started making very rapid moves. You can see the Tata Group, for one, has already started doing a lot of consolidation, a lot of third-party platform creation. So you're going to find increased activity on the digital front from many of these large entities. Secondly, you're also going to find many of the incumbents trying to take over or acquire existing startups. We've already seen evidence of such activity. We're only going to see an acceleration of more activity. We might also see consolidation in certain spaces. For example, in cosmetics, you might find companies coming together because it's very difficult for too many brands to be to have a strong enough space. So you might find some consolidation. Like I mentioned before, you're also going to see increased funding activity, increased in a number of entrepreneurs entering these spaces, and more brands being created. And finally, you're also going to see some pushback, maybe sometimes from conventional players and channels. You have already seen sometimes dealers creating issues for online players. But all said and done, you're going to see a lot of activity. You're also going to see a very interesting shift. For example, if you take sugar cosmetics, till the pandemic or so, 60% of their sales came from the top 10 cities. But you're now seeing tier 2 and tier 3 towns occupying the larger space. And today for them, 60% of their sales comes from tier 2, tier 3 cities. So all in all, you're going to see a lot of interesting things happening in the D2C space, and you're going to find it a very exciting opportunity for entrepreneurs and investors alike.